Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Justin and you are watching That Christian Vlogger. As I like to say, this is a place where you get to experience faith in the first person, and basically what happens is every single Monday and Thursday we make videos talking about the Christian faith, questions that we wrestle with, how to study the Bible, things that young Christians like you and me deal with on a regular basis. However, for the entire month of April, I'm doing a project called VEDA, which stands for Vlog Every Day in April, and it's exactly that. I'm making a video every single day in April, but instead of talking about our normal subject of, just questions that people ask according to the Christian faith, we are doing a series of videos that will help you get to know me, the creator, just a little bit better. So whether this is the very first video that you're watching or the 100th video that you're watching of my channel, thank you so much for hanging out with me and I hope you enjoy. Today's video is talking all about this idea of mentorship. The question is, who has been one of the most influential mentors in your life? Now, if you've watched the channel for any length of time, you know that I am a huge advocate for mentorship. I'm a huge advocate for having people in your life give you advice, people that you can always refer back to and kind of help you deal with the challenging areas in your journey through life as a Christian or as just a person in general. In fact, as a Christian in particular, mentorship is something that is hugely important. The Bible talks a lot about the value of having people speak into your life and kind of help you as you navigate through the difficult moments. Sometimes we call this mentorship or community, and another way to look at it is this is what the purpose of the church actually is. So I have had many mentors in my life, people that have helped me in many different realms. I have people that I look to for financial advice, people I look to for like physical, fitness or health advice. I have people that I look to for spiritual advice. And so I could mention a lot of different people, but I'm gonna mention to you guys one person who stands out probably more than any of these other people that have really helped me out before. And the person that I want to talk to you about today is a friend of mine named Michael Tuazon. I first met Michael when I was a senior in high school, and I was just basically transitioning out of this really dark phase of my life. I was going through a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties. I was really wrestling through a lot of questions like, why am I here? What's my purpose in life? And I had this sense kind of for a couple of years that I was just empty and my life was meaningless and pointless. And I really wasn't looking to the future, especially as people were asking me like, hey, what do you want to do in college? What do you want to do with your life? And my answer always was like, I have no clue. There's nothing that I'm really passionate about. And it was around this time that I was actually introduced to Michael by one of my friends in high school. And what had happened is that he was going to these Bible studies that Michael was hosting, and he eventually invited me along. Now, initially, I wasn't at all interested in Bible studies. I wasn't at all interested in spiritual things, but it was just another way to hang out with friends and another way to kind of just have something to do on the weekends. But during the Bible studies, what would happen is after the study was over, there was a period of time where we just do questions and answers, where basically any subject was now available for us to talk about, even if it were kind of like some of the more taboo things in the Christian church, like, sex or drugs or alcohol, like all the kinds of things that young people want to know about, but the adults aren't willing to talk about. So we would come week after week after week, and my friends and I, basically what we would try and do is just stump the guy, try and make him look stupid by asking a question that maybe he wasn't expecting or that he didn't really have an answer towards. But what was absolutely amazing about these interactions that we had with him was that every single time that we would ask him a question, he wouldn't just kind of like be embarrassed or like, whoa, like why would you actually ask that question? That's kind of bold. He would just be like, okay, cool, good question. And then he would think for a couple seconds, and then he would just open his Bible and say, hey, go to this verse. And he would read the verse, and it would be like an answer to the question that we were actually asking. And so for the first time in my life that I can actually remember, there was in front of me a person who wasn't like, say, 50, 60, 70-year-old, someone who had gray hair or whatever the case is, but someone who was young, someone who was like someone that I could consider a peer, who knew the Bible reasonably well and actually was like trying his best to live it out. And to me, that was so unusual. That was so crazy because I had always thought that, I would give my life to Jesus after I had gone through college, after I'd had my fun, I'd had my career, I had a couple kids, whatever the case is. And I would say, what, maybe when I become like a senior citizen, that's probably when I'll give my life to Jesus after I've kind of lived it up and had a good time, that's when I'll become like a follower of Jesus. But in front of me was Mike, and he was young and he was successful and he was like a business owner, and at the same time he was following Jesus. And to me, like, that was just profoundly weird. It was so odd, it was so different, and yet at the same time it was really, really like attractive in a sort of way. I was thinking like, man, there's something different about this. There's something different about his life, and this is something that I think that maybe I'm missing out on. This is something that I want for myself. And so now I've known Mike for like 10 years and I've had a great relationship with him. He's been one of the people that I continually go back to for advice. And he's actually the kind of person that I try to model my relationships, the kind of people that I end up mentoring or that I end up ministering towards. I try to model a lot of my interactions in the same way that I've observed him interact with me. In fact, for those of you guys who actually know Mike, can easily see the impression that he's had on me reflected in this channel, in the very nature of this channel, where it's like questions and answers and talking about these kinds of things for young people. A very strong reason why I have the channel and the way that it is today is because of him. My ability to study the Bible, my ability to like think of questions in maybe a way that other people haven't thought about it before is largely due to Mike. So Mike, I know I've said it before in other contexts, both privately and publicly, but I want to say on this channel, since I haven't acknowledged you yet, that I just want to say thank you so much for all that you've done for me, Mike, and for just the way that you've poured into my life and helped me grow as a Christian. I've said it before, but Mike, I would not be a fraction of the man or the leader that I am today if it weren't for you. So I really appreciate your example and just the effort that you put into pouring into my life. And so I guess before I close this video, one last thing I want to say about mentorship, because I know that a lot of you guys who watch my channel are younger, maybe in your teen, junior, high school age. I want to challenge you with your idea of mentorship in two ways. Number one, I want to challenge you to actually seek out mentorship from older people. Maybe it's a pastor, maybe it's a teacher, a parent, or just someone that you have in your life. I want to challenge you to find those people in your life that can really help you upgrade, help you become a better person. Think about it like this, like if you want to be the best basketball player that you want to be, it's important for you to have a coach. Or if you want to be successful in business, it's helpful for you to have someone who's kind of paved the way before you to kind of teach you what to do and what not to do. And the same thing is true in life and certainly in your relationship with God. These kind of mentors are super valuable. The second thing that I want to challenge you with is that, you know what, you actually can be a mentor today to someone else. Now you might be thinking, but Justin, I'm not even out of high school yet, or I don't really know anything. How could I possibly teach someone else when I'm trying to figure out life myself? And that's kind of what I want to challenge. Being a mentor isn't about having all the right answers and being basically this perfect person. In fact, far from it. If those were the only kinds of people that could be mentors, then of course, no one ever could be a mentor because no one ever has life figured out. No one ever is like perfect in whatever area of life that they're trying to pursue. But yet, there are people that can still make a difference. And in my case, it wasn't even so much like the knowledge base that made the difference, but it was Mike's constant kind of example of what a young person following after Jesus would look like. In 1 Timothy, I think it's chapter 4, it talks about, don't let anyone despise you because you are young, but set forth an example for the believers. In other words, according to the Bible, even young people can set a good example forth for other people. In other words, young people, in a certain sense, can also be mentors to other people, whether they are young or they are old. And so I want to challenge you as well to take that call, that challenge seriously. Look into your life, and are there people around you that you can pour into them, that you can help them, you can pray for them, and you can be there for them as well. I believe by doing so that you will be able to see God work through you in some pretty amazing ways. I guess I should probably talk about why I'm wearing a shirt called Bearded Ministry when I clearly do not have a beard. This was a shirt actually sent over to me by a buddy named Josh who runs a channel called Bearded Ministry. And he runs a really cool YouTube channel that talks about a lot of things that young people work through. He is a youth pastor and a Bible teacher from what I understand. And he has a really cool channel that I'd love for you guys to check out. I'll put a link in the description below. Josh, thank you so much for the shirt and thank you so much for the kind words in your letter. I appreciate it a lot. And so that's where I'm going to leave the video with you guys today. I want to know who has been a mentor in your life and what have they done to make a difference in your life. And then secondarily, what are you doing to try and pour it into the lives of other people? Who are you trying to mentor? Let me know in the comment section below. But until next time, until tomorrow's video, I'm that Christian vlogger and I want to encourage you to experience faith in the first person. God bless.